Hello, guys. We are live and we're skipping the Dean Martin. Hi, guys. Uh, it's a very sad day. Two ex-Jehovah's Witnesses react to the sad news of Charlie Kirk's assassination. And I'm just going to get to the point because a lot of people might just watch the first 60 seconds and say, what is this about? The problem we have here, I was listening to Vivek Ramaswamy was saying, what can we do? We need to change. No, we don't. No, we don't. Charlie Kirk was already doing the change.
Ramaswamy was saying, what can we do?
And I'm going to talk to you about, hold on. Oh, yeah, you have the sound. So I'm going to tell you what the problem is, the way I see it. The way I see it is that a lot of the problems that we see today, it goes back to the dereliction of duty of the religious leaders. As having grown up in a religious cult that prints a book called The New World Translation of the Holy Scriptures. Think about that, the New World Translations. I'm going to tell you why I think a lot of this is because the religious leaders have dropped the ball, which means we have to pick up the ball. And people like Charlie Kirk and thousands of them all over the world have picked up the ball and are doing the job that the religious leaders don't do. And God bless each and every one of those men and women who put up the good fight. But there's something happening right now that's very telling. If you go on a Gateway Pundit, Infowars, Breitbart, there seems to be a lot of people who are boasting. They're boasting about the fact that Charlie Kirk was assassinated, and this is where it really, really bothers me. The people that are boasting about Charlie Kirk's assassination. And so I'm going to show you just real quick. When something like this happens, Jesse, this is what a religion like ours does. This is the headline of their religion with a very lame article that's only like 2 paragraphs. There's nothing. And everybody wants to talk about the current event. But the religious leaders are derelict, like I say, derelict of duty. Now, I'm just going to mention this one thing. It's very, very important. And if there's anything you get out of this video, it's this. In the Bible, there's a book called Obadiah. You see where it says Obadiah 1? It's not even 1 page. It's I think John 3. There's no chapter 2. It's only 1 page. And the religious leaders should be crying from the mountaintops right now what's happening with the Charlie Kirk's assassination and the people that are gloating about it, and the people on TikTok and others. In this book, Jesse, he talks, God, in that day the Lord declares, will I not destroy the wise men of Edom, those that are understanding in the mountains of Esau? He goes, because of the violence against your brother Jacob, you will be covered with shame and you will be destroyed forever. On the day you stood aloof with the strangers carried off his wealth, and foreigners entered his gates and cast lots for Jerusalem, you were like one of them. You should not gloat over your brother in the day of his misfortune, nor rejoice over the people of Judah in the day of their destruction, nor boast so much in the day of their trouble. So the Babylonians had taken the Israelites as slaves. And Jesse, cheering on Facebook that their brother being slaves. Ever since
Gilbert, you froze up.
Okay, Babylon and and they're still in Japan. The Russians, those who spoke Russian in Russia, they're still there. And people Babylon the Great, but there are people that stay in their land.
Yep.
You know who that?
You're glitching.
Oh, you know who? Let me
move it a little.
Okay, this Jesse. Can you hear me now? Jesse, can you hear me?
Yes.
So, you know who doesn't exist anymore? Right there.
The neighboring nations.
Esau. Esau was a country of Jacob, and the name was Edom. So they ceased to exist. They were like Russians. They were like Japanese. They were a people with a language. And the only thing that exists today is the skeletons of their buildings. Everything else has been taken away. They're lucky to even be a story of history, but they see is that what we have today that piss me of duty religions do not on kids what going would rejoice something Charlie Kirk that you rejoice and part of history because Osama bin Laden was killed, or that you rejoice because someone else was killed. No, when calamity happens, we bow our head. We to somebody else. It's where the religious people were what if you go to their website have done a disservice to everyone. How many other religions have done the same? And so Swami was talking to Megan Kelly and he said, what do we do? We got to change. No, change has already been done. Change is done by people like Kirk. In the time of, there was a man by the name of this is what I've been long. There was a name of John the Baptist. And he didn't want to be part of the religious order. He was born to be the leader of the church when Jesus was on earth. He was a miracle birth through his parents, his elderly parents, and the Jews were very superstitious people. His dad was a priest. If anyone was to move up the ranks, it was John the Baptist. But he saw very clearly that they were a money laundering, money organization. They didn't care about God. So what did he do? Well, we know the story of John the Baptist. And he went out and he did his thing. He preached the truth. He didn't need to enslave people into a temple. But here's the other thing. One of the things that Charlie Kirk was doing, and this is why I think that they killed him, is because Charlie Kirk was preaching in the universities, and the university children belong to the religious leaders of the university, the religious leaders of the New World Order. And whenever you start telling these young kids, hey, you have a brain, you're a son of God, you can think for yourself. And guess what? And these young kids start thinking for themselves. Well, the power brokers say, no. Those kids are our property. Just like right here, when you're looking at that map behind us, Jesse, those 13 colonies, they didn't belong to you, the people, we the people. Those 13 colonies belong to the king. And who the hell are you to take away the king's property? And people like Charlie Kirk, and there's thousands of them on YouTube, they're apostates. We know them as apostates. They don't know they're apostates, but we know them to be apostates because they're taking away power from the New World Order, the religious order, the elite. And that cannot stand because we are their serfs. We are their property. And anybody that preaches freedom will be disfellowship. And if you go on my channel, GG for GB, and you type in the word lab rat, there's a video I did years ago and it says, we are lab rats of the New World Order. And so the Jehovah's Witnesses, I remember one time I called the Rick Farron show and it says that shunning is an act of violence. So some stupid ExJW calls in and says, and started trying to disagree with me. Stupid. You know why? Because he was saying, oh, that's not an act of violence. Gilbert's wrong, blah, blah, blah. Rick Farron says, you know what? Let me think about this. And he went to the dictionary and found out, what does the word violence mean? And then he's like, yes, you're right. Disfellowshipping that's practiced by the Jehovah's Witness is an act of violence. Now, do they go and they kill you? Well, I'm going to let you talk about that. But here's a point. We were lab rats and it works. And they know how it works. And they just, like you and I talked about earlier today, they disfellowship Charlie Kirk. The only difference is the lab rats experiment was on us first. Now the lab rat experience has gone into overdrive. So I blame this on the dereliction of duty on part of the religious leaders that do not preach the truth. Do not warn the people of not falling into the trap of rejoicing over their brother's downfall. And if you want to go down that road, you think that you can laugh because somebody else had a misfortune. Well, karma is going to come to you. Karma came to the people of Israel, and they went to serve as slaves in Babylon. But Obadiah 1 tells you that the Edomites, they suffered a worse fate. They don't exist. The Mexicans exist, the Spaniards exist, the Japanese exist, but the Edomites have ceased to exist. Nothing. Gone. Every last one of them. There is nobody on planet Earth that carries the DNA, genetic trait of the Edomites. So for those of you, and this is the problem with the religion I have, and this is why more is being done by people who leave the Watchtower, who leave these crazy religions, where everybody just wants to give a speech and put on a pretty suit and speak nonsense, instead of the real life application of what the Bible is trying to tell you. You want to piss off God? You want to piss off the universe? Laugh at your brother's suffering. And that's what you saw today with a lot of people on the libs of TikTok. And then also, the thing about Charlie Kirk is that Charlie Kirk is an example of the John the Baptist, that you can speak the truth, you preach the truth, and you don't need to be with the religions. Why? Because the religions are too busy trying to get money to buy another house for Jesus Christ, as if Jesus doesn't own enough homes in the universe. So that's my rant. I'll let you go.
Gilbert, that was beautiful. I agree with you 100%. You're the GG for GB. You speak for all Jehovah's Witnesses all
That's
over
right.
this. And when you say something, nothing else needs to be said.
Yeah.
Since you're so gracious, you allow me a few minutes to say something.
Please, because you're the one that brought out that Charlie Kirk was a disfellowship today.
Listen, this gentleman was establishing his bona fides.
Mm-hmm.
Enoch established his bona fides.
Yes.
Rush Limbaugh established his bona fides. And they were taken away. Today, Charlie Kirk is like Abraham Lincoln. He belongs to the ages. This young man is a young man who was establishing himself in the American pageant. In the American pageant, in the chapter of Patriots, he was establishing his life work. He accomplished it preaching freedom and Christ. And I feel like a lesser American today. I feel like a lesser human being. Because I listen to Megyn Kelly, I listen to Donald Trump, I listen to a lot of people on social media, Glenn Beck, I listen to Greg Gutfeld, and a lot of the gentlemen on news media were telling us to pray. Mm-hmm. And I didn't pray, Gilbert, I didn't pray. Ruby Quinn right now in the comment section, she said she did a quick prayer. I feel she's a superior human than I am. Mm-hmm. I feel very lowly because I couldn't get myself to pray. I was just in awe of the greatness of this young man. And I'm still very much in the fight. And I'm putting too much into my own strength.
Yes.
And not relying on God. And there's a lot of people in the ex-Jehovah's Witness community and Jehovah's Witnesses who hate God. And we said it, Legion. We said it over and over again. The Jehovah's Witnesses are an atheist-making factory. They are not a Christian congregation. That's why you see so many Jehovah's Witnesses, ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, hate on Jesus. We see it over and over. And the irony is this young man who was establishing his paragraph, his point in the American pageant, in the great ideals of Americans, of freedom lovers. He was establishing his paragraph in that history. He was doing it while talking about Christ. And he set the perfect example. The perfect example. God is marching on. People don't understand that point. We saw God marching on in the life and death of Charlie Kirk. A spiritual man sees that. A physical man can't see that. They see the slaughter of an innocent man, but they don't understand that he speaks for the ages. His voice now will resound stronger than it could ever. His voice now becomes life. In his death, his voice now will live forever because it's empowered with God. And so that's why what I wanted to say, from our religious experience, we have seen that the debate must be stopped. Our life experience teaches us that if you speak up in our religion, you will be disfellowshipped. And make no mistake about it, when you're disfellowshipped, you might as well commit suicide. Your family hates you. It's death. It's a death sentence. And many Jehovah's Witnesses commit suicide. What they did to Charlie Kirk today, they wanted to disfellowship him from the human experience because his voice was too powerful. You know, the poet says, never bother to ask for whom the bell tolls. The bell tolls for thee. The bell tolled for Charlie Kirk. I don't even think he was the age of Jesus Christ when he died. I don't even think. I think he was younger. I think he was 31 years old. If somebody can correct me.
31.
It's such a short life when he has so much to give. But now he gives to the ages. You and I can now learn so much that our voices cannot be shut down. When we hear Mike Brooks saying that there's no Jesus, no Moses, we should shout from the mountaintops more. Because he's living in death. He's living in the hate. He's giving credence to those voices that shot Charlie Kirk. But he doesn't know when he kills Jesus, when he kills Charlie Kirk, when you kill Rush Limbaugh, when you kill Martin Luther King, the voice becomes bigger. The voice goes to an eternity. The bell says, for whom the bell tolls, the bells toll for thee. Our voices now will ring with Jesus. Hallelujah. It will be stronger than ever. But just, you know, Ronald Reagan says, the martyrs of truth were not fools. Charlie Kirk is a martyr. And today his voice is stronger. It's not a fool because he was preaching Jesus Christ. No, he has ignited a nation because that bullet that rang today, it was aimed at every one of us conservatives. It was aimed at every one of us Republicans. They want to shut us up.
And Jesse, hold on a second. But here's the thing. When Jesus was here, he was teaching us that we are children of God. We are children. That's why I say in the voting ballot, right? Accept your birthright.
Correct.
Now, I'll pull it up. Accept your birthright. So if you're a son of God, then all of these other people that are trying to put chains on you, you don't need to listen to them. And this is what Charlie Kirk and millions of other men and women throughout history have done. So Charlie Kirk was preaching like we were preaching to Jehovah's Witnesses, but he was doing it to college kids. So Charlie Kirk was telling the college kid, why are you wearing a ball and chain? And some kids actually said, well, you know what? You're right. I do have a ball and chain. I'm a slave. I'm a slave to the student debt. I'm a slave to this. I'm a slave to that. And the kids are now thinking on their own. And you cannot have that in a new world order. And our religion has set the example of what you do with these people. They have experimented on us. They have disfellowshipped us and said, hey, we now have the paper. We now know how this works. And now they have put that disfellowshipping in overdrive. And for years, you and I have been saying that the world has become Jehovah's Witness. And today you've experienced, I should change the title. Today, Charlie Kirk was disfellowshipped from the New World Order.
Okay. And you know what? I didn't go that deep. That's a very deep sentiment, the New World Order. And you expressed it well with the college and the universities. And isn't it ironic that that's who the Jehovah's Witnesses are embracing now? They're going into league with the universities now. And you remember that song in the 80s? Now, sure as the sun will cross the sky, this
right.
lie is over. Now, sure as the sun will cross the sky, the universities and the Jehovah's Witnesses are in league. But listen, far from me saying anything derogatory about the universities, this young man was an example, because just like God saw something good in man, because the Bible says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that who shall ever exercise faith in him shall not perish. Charlie Kirk saw something good in the universities and the children of the universities. And so I think that teaches us conservatives a lot, that we're sending out our children to the universities, and you bring up the point that they belong to the New World Order. So there's this struggle.
But yeah, but this is very clear, and this is where the Jehovah's Witnesses are derelict of duty, and so is the religion. Jesus also loved the universities and the religions. Have you not heard of Nicodemus? Have you not heard of Nicodemus? So you look at Nicodemus, and you look at the example of John the Baptist. You look at the example of the Apostle Paul. So there's a difference between those who love God and those who want to be his children, and those who use religion, universities, and everybody else for power and control. No different than what King George did with the 13 colonies. We are not property of any human being. And Charlie Kirk, in my opinion, was maybe not preaching that, but the idea of freedom was penetrating into the minds of full of mush. What did Rush Limbaugh say? The
Minds full of
mush.
Skulls full of mush. And Gilbert,
and the power brokers are like, oh hell no, oh hell no, are we going to allow you to come into our property and steal our children? When Charlie Kirk never viewed the children as property, he viewed them as children of God
and equal.
And so Charlie, he's no saint. Charlie Kirk is like all of us. We're preaching, and what I've been preaching is that accept your birthright.
Gilbert, I have to disagree with you on one point. Very important point. Please forgive me for this, but Charlie Kirk is a saint.
Now,
he now belongs to the ages.
Yes,
and Charlie Kirk is a saint.
I take that back.
And he is marching. The saints are marching in, and Charlie Kirk has a number to play.
Yeah, I take it back. Yeah, but no, when he was alive, he was a sinner like all of us. But yeah.
Gilbert, when Jesus was speaking to the Jews, to the children of God, the lost tribes, did he go to the temple? Did he go inside the Sanhedrin? Where was he preaching? Wasn't he preaching in the Garden of Gethsemane? Wasn't he preaching outside the temple? Wasn't he where the people were congregated?
Or fishing? Where
did Charlie Kirk go to preach? Where did he go to preach his gospel message? Was he in the halls of Academe?
No, he was in the in the park.
He was out in the park, just like Jesus. He was out with the common man. It's a beautiful story. The story of freedom goes on. It's like a verse. Since the beginning of Adam and Eve, history is like a verse. It's like a canto. And in every canto, there's a verse. There's a paragraph. There is a chapter. Some men are a chapter or a verse. Well, today we saw the verse of Charlie Kirk. A beautiful story in the story of freedom, in the story of love, in the story of mankind. Today was a blessed day, a blessed day. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. Our Lord is marching on. Our Lord was manifested in the life of Charlie Kirk.
Correct.
Here is a man who didn't understand, like you said, he's a sinner, but he had a story to tell, a story of salvation, a story of worth. When everybody's saying that whites are white supremacists, that Americans suck, that capitalism sucks, Charlie Kirk said, no, we're something special. We're something unique. And the canto goes on. So today is a blessed day. And that's why I didn't go into prayer, because I've been thinking of these thoughts. Because I didn't want to quit just yet. I don't want to quit on the American idea. I don't want to quit on the Christian principles. I don't want to quit just yet. I'm a sinner, and I deserve death.
Yeah.
And I would have given my life for Charlie Kirk, even though I have so many grandchildren. He's a blessed man, but now he's a saint, and he belongs to the ages.
Correct. Now I want to just go back on this point, because on the voting ballot, when I would put out, accept your birthright, God is your father, you are his son, or daughter, let no man get between you and your father. And then the most important part, Jesse, right there, is when it says Gilbert is right, and it's true. When you accept that you're God's son, then you don't need permission from Watchtower or any religious organization or the Pope to decide if you're going to do this or do that. And therein lies why you get disfellowshipped. And this is why I'm telling you, Charlie Kirk was disfellowshipped. He was disfellowshipped from the people who subscribe to the idea that humans belong to them. Yeah, and we are not of that fold. There are people that believe that they have a right to rule over you. King George was one of them. But there's a lot of King George. Now, and when King George was alive, there wasn't a billion people on Earth, right? And there wasn't that many people that were lords over you. But now that the population has grown, so has the percentage. So today in 2025, we still have a certain percentage of people, and that number is getting big, where they actually think that they have a right to own you, to tell you what to think, how to think. And Charlie Kirk was preaching to those skulls full of mush, those young kids, that is not. Now, he was doing it in his own way. We all do it in our own way.
Gilbert, can you do me a favor?
And he was disfellowshipped, is the point I'm trying to make. Go ahead.
Can you do me a favor? Can you put the link that you talked about that I so mistakenly said not to put it? Because a lot of our dear friends are on the chat section. A lot of our sweet dear friends who we love. And they have great comments. And that way, if they want to come in, because a lot of them are hurting. And they might want to say a few words. And I think it would be appropriate. And today is not a day of debate. If we said something wrong, please forgive us and get us on another day. But a lot of people might want to come in and say a few words. And so I think it would be good for you to put that link. And then if we have to drop out, we'll drop out and give them room.
Mm-hmm. But I wanted to elaborate. I want to elaborate on that point, though, about the disfellowshipping. And I know for those that are not Jehovah's Witnesses saying, what the hell are you guys talking about? You two ExJW, what the hell are you guys talking about? They don't understand that disfellowshipping, shunning, is a form of violence.
Yes, it's an act of death.
And we were the lab rats. And now that shunning has gone into hyperdrive. And you're experiencing shunning and how it leads to death. Go ahead.
Gilbert, our beloved brother is on.
That's right. Yeah, Irna Zaruska and Charlie Kirk. Yeah, that was a...
Yeah, if anybody needs to come in and say a few words, maybe me and Gilbert are not getting the full message across of how a day of irony and twist and hurt and pain and Gilbert's talking about a disfellowship, but we're speaking in a spiritual sense.
And I'm also talking about the dereliction of the Jehovah's Witnesses and religion, where they're not speaking out against the people that are mocking. The news reporters are even some of the clips where they're gleeful that Charlie Kirk was dead.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, Jesse, that wiping out your whole progeny, your whole nation has ceased to exist. This is some very serious stuff, and it doesn't get talked about by religious leaders.
Yes, correct. And listen, and that's a great point, Gilbert. That's a great point, because listen, in the schools and in the colleges and in the high schools, what is the one word we do not hear? Besides George Washington and Abraham Lincoln, the one word we don't hear is Jesus Christ or Moses or the prophets or the saints. And Charlie Kirk took the name Jesus Christ to the colleges, to the universities. So this is the irony of ironies, that he has become a martyr. But, you know, there's a Spanish song. There's a Spanish song that I listen to it when I'm in prayer, when I'm in deep meditation. And my favorite Mexican singer sings it, Pedro Infante. And he says that he knows that we don't start to live until we die, until we're in the bosom of Abraham. until
Yeah.
we're in the soul of our Father.
Mhm.
And that is when a man begins to live.
Mhm.
But look at the children of Charlie Kirk and the wife, the widow of Charlie Kirk. What this man with this gun did, he hurt so many people. For example, we know that God is marching on. We know that. We have seen it with our eyes. Our eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. We have seen it in the light. But it doesn't take away the pain and the hurt of the human who now is the children who are fatherless, the wife who is husbandless.
Mhm.
And this is a disgraced man. And you talked about the people who joined him in glee, in mocking the death of this man. Well, you and I would submit, do not have to get angry because karma is a bitch.
Yes.
These people have signed their suffering warrant.
Yes, but what I'm saying is that as a preacher, right, I would be yelling from the pulpit saying, as a Jehovah's Witness religious leader, a GG for GB, I would be yelling and saying, stop, stop, stop. Do not go down this road. And if you did go down this road, apologize, because this gleefulness is something you do not want to know. You do not want to see.
But here's the thing, Gilbert, you and I don't have to lose our composure. We don't have to lose our composure. They have been shooting Republicans since we were babies and conservatives. They have been saying this about everybody who loves America, that we're Nazis, that we're bigoted, that we're homophobes. They've said everything. Now they're resorting to stabbing in the jugular of people based on the color of their skin or the ideology. You and I cannot get angry because our Lord is marching on. Now it's evident for the whole world to see that our communist Marxist brothers are full of hate. They call themselves gay. They're not happy. They call themselves gay. We're gay. We're queer. No, you're not. You're angry. You're bitter. Your epitaph is hate. And so God is marching on. We're seeing it. They're condemning themselves. Our responsibility now is to pray for our brothers and sisters who have fallen into hate, because the judgment that pursues them and the hellhounds that are coming out of the gates of Hades will pursue them from this life to the next. And so if we love our brothers and sisters, we got to tell, hey, you need a correction course, because you're going to have to pay for the blood of Charlie Kirk. You're going to have to pay for all the babies you've aborted. You're going to have to pay for all the people you've injected and you've killed. There is a Nuremberg that's rising, and it's got your name. And never bother to ask for whom the bell tolls. The bells tolls for thee, brother, on the left. The left has a lot to answer for. There's a lot of blood. It might even go all the way to heaven. Well, you can't abort an entire color into oblivion and expect there not to be some kind of karma.
Well, I'll tell you what, I was happy today because I did, because it came on my feed. I'm not gonna mention the name, but big time leftist and a big time progressive also, and he went on a rant like he sounded like a Christian, and he's not, but he just went off and saying this is not the answer. Violence is going to get more violence, and he was like distancing himself from any kind of rejoice. And you're right. And he also mentioned, like you did, so about the widow and also the kids. But the point is that a lot of people, Jesse, that you talked about, queer, gay, whatever, progressives, Democrats, even though a lot of them, like we saw today in the House of Representatives, that behave poorly, a lot of them are saying, no, I am. This was a defining moment. Remember, I always show you that thing where he goes, "This is it. This is it." This Charlie Kirk moment has really woken up a lot of people in the Democrat, progressive, and saying, "Hey, I may have my political views, but this is not. I am no way associated with this."
A lot of our Democrat hypocrite brothers, they're hypocrites of biblical proportion, but we can't be angry with them. They've fallen victim. They're like that person who got the jabby yabby and then felt the myocarditis. They fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. They fell for it. We said that COVID was an IQ test, and a lot of our brothers failed. They wanted to fail. Why? Because they wanted to travel. They couldn't open up their eyes. The same thing with this hate. You and I cannot be. We have to be like Abraham Lincoln. We have to be like Jesus. We have to be like George Washington. We have to be like our American fathers that came before us, who always loved. And Ray Charles sang about it in America the Beautiful. Remember, there's a verse in that line. He says, they love mercy more than life. And that is the epitaph of Charlie Kirk. He loved mercy more than life. He gave his life for his fellow college university, his peers, who maybe weren't worth it in a lot of people's eyes.
Correct.
But Charlie Kirk gave his life for these people. And in there lies the spiritual, the American spirit. Because Ray Charles sang it with such eloquence and such elegance when he said, and mercy more than life. You and I must love mercy more than life. We can never gloat at maybe Chris Cuomo, Bruce Springsteen, Robert De Niro's downfall. No, we can't gloat. We know Rosie O'Donnell's gonna downfall. We know that all those girls, that the Ellen show, all these people have a date with destiny, but you and I cannot gloat. We know Mike Brooks is gonna bow his knee to Jesus Christ, but we can't gloat about that. We have to be like Abraham Lincoln, who showed mercy after the Battle of Gettysburg. He said there will be no hangings. There will be no persecutions. It was beautiful. And then he laid his life down in Ford's Theater a couple of days later. And that is the beauty of the American dream, that we love mercy more than life. Today, they shot our brother. Yesterday, they killed Rush Limbaugh. And before that, they killed Martin Luther King. And before that, they killed John F. Kennedy. And then they killed Robert Kennedy. But today, they killed Charlie Kirk. But the American spirit is a forgiving spirit. And there is a chance for redemption. And we reach out to our brothers. Hey, stop being gay and start being happy. And people go, well, it has nothing to do, because I had an argument with a person on social media today. It has nothing to do about gay. I know. You think I'm stupid? I'm speaking in the spirit. You've adulterated a word. I'm reclaiming the word, because the word becomes flesh. After all, we're Christians. Don't we believe that the word is flesh? Yes. And so quit being gay and start being happy. Rejoice at the coming of the Lord.
And Jesse, no, it's true. And I just wanted to emphasize this one more time. I'm going to go back to, because guys, it's not even one page. It's just Obadiah has only one chapter 1. And on verse 12, it says, you should not gloat over your brother in the day of his misfortune, nor rejoice over the people of Judah in the day of their destruction, nor boast so much in the day of their trouble. And what happened to them? They ceased to exist. They don't exist anymore. Now this is the day of the Lord is near. As you have, it will be done to you. Your deeds will return upon your own head. And so this is what he was saying. When he comes, reaches our brother, he was, oh my God, karma knocked on my brother's door. We don't over that. No. Bow our heads.
We bow our heads at the greatness of Jesus Christ. We bow our heads at the greatness of everything he affects. Remember I told you that, let's say Jesus Christ was radioactivity. In 2000, 3004, we'd have a Geiger counter and we said, hey, something was here. What is it? I don't know, but there was something of immense power here. And that's what Jesus is to Western civilization, to us, the sons of God, the children of God. Jesus was so powerful that something is here. Even though he was here 2,000 years ago, we could still feel it. We could still feel the energy. And Charlie Kirk tapped into that energy, because yesterday I was hearing words from like the health ranger that the American system is dead, that we're going to reach our 250th birthday, but America is dead, that capitalism is dead, that the American dream. I was hearing all these whiners and sissies throughout the land and throughout the world, that the BRICS nations were great. And along comes this young man, 31 years, and becomes a testimony to the entire planet of the greatness that is America, the greatness that is you and I, the American experience. It's a rich experience, one that mimics Jesus Christ. That man give their lives. Jesus Christ died to give us life. Charlie Kirk died to make us free. Charlie Kirk died to make us free. Jesus died to make men holy. Charlie Kirk took a position in that, a little sliver, and he goes, okay, I'm going to help this American people. I'm going to help the American people. And maybe tomorrow Vladimir Putin will help the Russian people. Or maybe Javier Milei will help the Argentine people. Or your hero in El Salvador, what's his name?
Bukele.
Maybe Bukele will help them, the El Salvador people. But what we saw is that saint, Charlie Kirk, he helped the American people to grasp freedom. And freedom is not that you get a big house in the Hollywood Hills. Freedom is that you have the land of opportunity, where you have the opportunity to lay down your life so that other people may live.
Okay, it's true. Now, Jesse, hold on a second. Aaron Hubbard, he mentioned this.
I'm gonna get off.
And I'm gonna no. I need you to listen.
I'm just gonna mute myself.
Okay, if there was any indication of how difficult the powers that be are to take down, it was an example. The New World Order is already in. All of us agree. Now, understand where he gets that. This is why I'm GG and Aaron not. So, and I quote this, and the gets all scared. He goes, but Elisha in Israel, going servant of the man of God came out early the next morning. An army with horses and chariots has surrounded the city. Oh no, my lord, what shall we do? The guy's afraid because the war has arrived. Today is a day where the war has arrived. And what did Elijah say? Don't be afraid. The prophet answered, those who are with us are more than those who are with them. And Elijah prayed, opened his eyes, Lord, so that he may see. Then the Lord opened the servant's eyes, and he looked and he saw the hills full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elijah. And then that's when the fighting got good. The point is, Elijah didn't see all of the holy angels. Elijah didn't see all of the horses and the chariots because he was a spiritual man. He didn't need to see it. But his helper was a fleshly man. And so Aaron is right, but he's fleshly. It is a foregone conclusion that the New World Order is going to delete each and every one of us. But there are more of us than there are of them. And they know that.
Hallelujah.
So the answer is, who cares about the New World Order? If they take us, well, then God wants us home. I know. I see her. But that's the whole point. Always remember, the reason why Jesus Christ is not here is because the great majority of people still have love in their heart. It's not until the great majority lose love, then we're in trouble. So, hey, hallelujah that Jesus is not here, because there are more people who love life, love God, love truth than there are who hate it. They're in the minority. Hey, so Ruby, did you need to correct us? Did we say anything wrong? You're kind of like a moderator.
Oh no, I am actually so happy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy that you guys are actually talking about it in such a positive way, because since 4:30 today,
yeah,
I've been in shock.
Me too.
And it's sinking in, but I'm still not having a reaction. You know, like you're still in that moment. You can't believe it. I can't believe it yet. And it's sad. It's infuriating, but then it's scary, because if they could do that to a regular guy like Charlie, what are they gonna do to us? And they can do it. It's like you're powerless. But I wanted to see what you guys were gonna say, and I've been watching and just, commenting along with you guys because I've been really struggling with it. Like it's I don't even know how to explain it. I'm still in shock. Like, this is crazy. In broad daylight too. Like,
but now they showed the people that got arrested at first, they were in on it. They were causing a diversion. They were saying, I have rights, because they were stalling the police. But then they caught the guy on the very top, the shooter. So here we have an example of about 3, 4, 5 people that are involved, maybe 10, 20. But you look at the video, and there's literally thousands of people that were there. So it goes to show what 2 Kings chapter 6 that I just read. We are the majority. And that's what Charlie Kirk's life proved, is that there are more of us than there ever will be of them.
Yeah, but there's still a major issue.
Yes.
Charlie represents now forever the freedom of speech.
Yes.
So if they click us off one by one because of our freedom of speech, and this is the United States of America, that's a huge issue. Like, that is the fundamental things of what being an American is. The whole idea of America is about that freedom, that we have the freedom to have these opinions and to talk about it in public. And if we can't do that without getting shot, then there's a serious issue.
And that is why this story is not on the religious channels, jw.org, mymother'sreligion.org, mydaddy'sreligion.org. The religions don't talk about what she just said. This is why freedom of speech is the number one item on the First Amendment. So this is why it's so important. Go ahead.
I don't disagree with nothing Ruby said. Ruby, you said it eloquently. But let me just tell you the battlefield. For example, if a general was looking from the left, he would look at from the left flank. Pretend I'm looking at the right flank. We're looking at the same battlefield. But one person gets shot. But I don't see it the way you see it. I don't see the American dream as freedom of speech. I see that as the reward. I see that as a fruit of freedom. For example, to me, the freedom is what Charlie Kirk did today. That he gave his life so that other Americans can know freedom. Jesus Christ gave his life so other people could be holy. He said it. So we are the land of opportunity. I don't have an opportunity to have a Tesla or a rich car or a 4-wheel drive car or a mansion on the hill. That's not the American dream. My American dream is that maybe one day I would give my life for you so that you could be free, so my grandchildren could be free. And today is a blessed day because Charlie Kirk became a saint. But Jesse, in the great American story, this is a sacred day, He gave his life so that other men could be free. The struggle for freedom of speech will continue because there was a man so brave that went up to the lion. Yes, he lost his life. But yet Charlie Kirk is still alive. And now he's stronger than ever because he belongs to the Spirit.
There's two issues with that, though. Sorry. There's two issues really quickly.
Yeah.
It's not a dream. It's a fundamental principle of value, a tradition. It's like the founding fathers themselves. It's not a dream that we can't dream, or as if we could just not have it. We're supposed to have it. It's supposed to be protected. And he didn't give his life. It was taken from him. He was murdered. Okay, it's different if you give your life, serving your country or whatever. You signed up for that. But his freedom of speech should have been protected, and it wasn't. So if we're not safe in the public square, nobody's safe.
No, nobody's safe.
And that's exactly what they tried to do to Trump. They attempted to take Trump out, and it didn't work. They even tried to assassinate Nick Fuentes, another political commentator, and now Charlie Kirk, and they finally succeeded. There's an issue, and it's way deeper than any one of us.
And tomorrow it's going to be you, and tomorrow it's going to be me. Look.
Exactly. Like, that's a slippery slope. You don't want to go down that way.
No, but you know what? Since the long history of mankind, that is the story. This is the blessed story of the American spirit, that we're a different type of people. Even though our government sucks and has a lot of problems, the Fed, the blue pills, the black pills, even though
They
we have
hate
all these,
us.
yes, but in the long history of man, we're a pretty damn good country. In other places, the life expectancy was maybe 20 to 30 years. They didn't have none of the relative freedom that we have. But
We're the best. Yeah.
everybody's had to fight to be free. There is no such thing as paradise earth. There is no such thing as heaven on earth. We are in hell. And we saw it in the death of Charlie Kirk. There is no such thing as protection. You and I must be that protection.
So, Jesse, just real quick, both of you guys. So, would it be fair? I was thinking about this. Is this what mom and dad, Ruby, maybe your parents or your grandparents went through? Remember when dad experienced John F. Kennedy being shot?
Yep.
That changed my dad's life.
Yep.
My uncles and aunts, it was a life changer. And I think Charlie Kirk's death it affected me more than the attempt on Donald Trump. Thank God Donald Trump lived. So we let it go. But I'm having this feeling where it's like it's a John F. Kennedy type moment.
Yeah.
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 And you know what? I think I'm a little different view because I saw Ronald Reagan get shot. I saw the space shuttle blow up, and we've seen so much death and destruction. We saw Bobby Kennedy get killed. We saw Martin Luther King in my lifetime get killed. So we've been through Anwar Sadat and just on and on and on. Rush Limbaugh, the way he died just all of a sudden. So the Charlie Kirk to me is different. I'm taking it in stride in the sense that I don't see it as a John F. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy was huge. It changed the world. But in a way, Charlie Kirk's death is shaking up the world because we're seeing world leaders throughout the planet give commentary on this.
Yeah.
And it's testimony to the uniqueness of the American experiment.
But it's also, Jesse, going to where Jesus Christ talked about the separation. The government, the religious leaders, like we come from, the Watchtower, they're silent about this because they don't want to touch what Ruby's talking about, the First Amendment issue of freedom of speech. You speak, you get disfellowship. We separate you from your family. We separate you from your friends. We kill you spiritually.
Right.
Why? Because we, the Jehovah's Witnesses, have a new world order. I mean, a Bible.
Right. Exactly. Okay. Well, let me ask you this. With all those other assassinations or attempts in the media cycle or just in society in general, have you ever seen the left act or celebrate with those attempts or assassinations the way that they're doing now with Charlie on the internet? How disgusting people are celebrating it. They're joking about it as if he brought it upon himself because of his political positions or opinions or whatever. Like, I don't care about none of that stuff when somebody loses their life over it. Like, nothing should be that serious that you lose your life over it. Even if you disagree with the guy or you agree with him, right?
Correct.
That's a sickness. That's a mental sickness to even think that, oh, well, he was spreading this, karma comes back in certain ways or whatever. Did you guys see that in society when those assassinations happened?
No. When Martin Luther King was assassinated, what was it? Early morning, April 4th, 1968, was it? Or 1969, when Martin Luther King was assassinated, 1968, I believe. Robert Kennedy went to the streets. I think it was Indianapolis, if my memory serves me correct. And he gave a speech. Robert Kennedy, I think you could look at it in the internet on YouTube. And he gave this elegant speech that you could feel the spirit of anger. You could see it drop in the inner city. Robert Kennedy actually toned down the spirit. His voice, his words healed America. And you're right, Ruby, you're right. So some of our voices during the times of assassinations actually healed America. And that's true. Today, we saw people mocking America.
Yep.
And so, Ruby, what did you think about when I did that Obadiah? You got to read Obadiah. It's only one page, but it goes to show the Bible's very clear. If you want to piss off God, this is how you do it. Listen, and you of all people know this, because when you whip out the belt and you discipline, say your smallest one, but the older one starts laughing because his little brother is getting a whooping. How do you think mom and dad are going to react to that? It's not right. And so on a bigger level, that's what the book of Obadiah is. Only one chapter, one page. If you want to piss God off, you laugh at your brother's misfortune. You rejoice over the death of your brother. And you will get a knock on the door, but it won't be from any government agency, but it'll be from Karma himself.
Right. Okay. So here's my dilemma, right?
Go ahead.
So we know this already. We know how the left can be like a death cult, how psychopathic they can become, how even news anchors were brushing it off or giving misinformation or just giving like stupid takes about this whole thing. So we know this, right? Mm-hmm. Where's the red line? Like I remember talking, to Jesse about this last year on my show. When do we start going on the offense? When do we start protecting ourselves first?
Beautiful question, Ruby. Beautiful. I heard Greg Gunfeld. You got to go see his show. He talked about that
on Fox.
But
yeah.
I hate to say this to you, Kate. You probably don't want to hear this, but we're Republicans. You really don't want to fight Republicans. Mm-mm. The last time we got into a fight, we kicked the Democrats' ass. So let's just pray Republicans don't fight. There's other ways to do it. Now, that I know that doesn't satisfy your answer, but when Republicans wake up, oh my God, the world's going to shake. We're going to be like Ricky Bobby, shake and bake, baby. But anyways, that said, look at what's happening with the Democrat Party. They overstepped their bounds. They're going to live in a world of shame and karma, what they did. They're going to lose a lot of popular support. Do you remember during the Civil Rights March, there was Martin Luther King, and then there was that other guy. What was that black guy's name, Gilbert? He had a Muslim name, Malcolm X. Mm-hmm. They had two competing forces, and Martin Luther King was dying down. His influence was dying down, and the influences of Malcolm X were going up. But do you remember what Martin Luther King preached, Ruby? Do you remember what he preached?
That he had a dream
No, when he preached nonviolence.
Yeah, nonviolence.
Right, the reason him and Mahatma Gandhi, mm-hmm. they had a dream. They wanted to fulfill freedom. They understood that somehow, I don't know why, but the way the rules are written in nature, when conservative people, when God-fearing people, when righteous people fight back, sometimes, like on January 6th, look what happened. Martin Luther King knew that if you fought back in Selma, that somehow all the blacks were going to get thrown in jail. Mahatma Gandhi knew that if he led an insurrection in India, the British were going to wipe out 1 million people. I don't know why that happens, but when us conservatives stand up and defend ourselves sometimes, all the power of the press, all the power of Hollywood, all the rockers, all the homosexuals come against us. Even the hurricanes come against us. Do you remember when Hurricane Katrina came and hit you? Who did they blame it on? They blamed it on conservatives. So to answer your question, if we were to pick up arms and pick up a violent course, I think the country would not stand for it. So there has to be we have to be a nonviolent force. Look at Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln preached that after the Battle of Gettysburg. He said there will be no hangings. There will be no hangings. If these people move out of country with shame, good. I won't care. I won't bat an eye. What did George Washington say about Benedict Arnold? Benedict Arnold had to leave the country in disgrace because he was a traitor. Judas Iscariot had to hang himself. The Japanese soldiers who had lost Japan committed hara-kiri after World War II. A lot of our American brothers have aborted the American dream. A lot of our American brothers have betrayed. They have sold out to the deep state. If they commit suicide or leave or disfellowship themselves, we're not going to lose sleep over it. But they've disgraced the country. We debate. We're in the Charlie Kirk business. We debate. We don't go and get guns and fight. That's what the communists and the Marxists do.
Okay, but if you're there debating, just like Charlie was, and just like what he's been doing for over 10 almost over 10 years, they just ended that with that bullet. There's no more talking. There's no more debating. Obviously, they don't want that anymore.
Sometimes I get invited to debate and call. Sometimes around Yuma, my town. For example, I got invited to. I'm not going to say the date now. But I got invited to the Young Republicans of Yuma to go give a speech on the importance of the Constitution. And so I got invited to go give a speech. And I gave one last year and they re-invited me. Don't you think in the back of my head, I'm thinking I could get shot?
Exactly. Like you're not safe going to a regular meeting or anything that is right of the left, because Charlie, he's not, in my opinion, he's not even that much right wing as what they're trying to portray him to be. He's more of like moderate or right in the middle. Like he's not far right.
Or
he doesn't have outlandish takes.
That's why I said conservative minded.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's okay in my opinion. And if they think that he's far, then imagine what they think about other people. It's like they perceive it the wrong way, and they're already blaming him for what happened to him.
Correct.
Victim blaming.
Now, Kat says all Charlie ever wanted to do was have an honest debate on issues that affected all Americans, a strong debater, and supported free speech.
Correct.
Well, you see, Kat, that's the problem. So this is why they had to kill him. The power brokers, the religious leaders kill. Who are they going to kill? They killed Raymond France. See, they disfellowshipped him. They killed him. They disfellowshipped him.
What did they do to Jesus? What did they do to Moses? What did they want to do to John the Baptist? Throughout history, what did they do to Joan of Arc?
And who was Charlie Kirk effective in debating and teaching free speech? Young kids and the universities. Like you said, the kids belong to the universities. Charlie Kirk is like, no, the kids belong to themselves. They belong to God.
And Ruby, what did Jesus say?
This is where the struggle is.
Did Jesus say, if you want to be my follower, did Jesus ever tell you he's going to give you paradise or earth or heaven? No. He says, if you want to be my follower, pick up your cross and follow me. This is the neat story about this. You know, in the Battle Hymn of the Republic, or in the in the national anthem, there is a verse in there that talks about, is our flag still there? You know why our flag was still there?
Why?
Because the British boats had trained their guns on the flag, and the American soldiers down in the galleys were saying, hey, is our flag still there? And the British marksmen kept shooting their bombs at our flag, and they would knock down the pole, and a group of American patriots would go pick up the pole and stand on top of the old bodies of the old American patriots that had been blown up by the British. And all night they would say, is our flag still there?
Right.
It was because it was standing on the bodies of the dead Americans. And that's the American spirit that a lot of people don't want to understand. Sacrifice comes before the gain. And that's what we are. We're Americans. We give our lives for other people. Other people, they want their freedom. They want their paradise. No, not us. We want our children to be free. We're like Jesus Christ. He died to make men holy.
Yeah, but okay. I agree with mostly everything, right? The thing that I got a problem with is that I'm not giving my life for nobody. I would fight for that. I like the spirit that you're talking about, the Americanism. Yeah, I would fight for that, but I'm not giving it so some pink-haired liberal can celebrate my death afterward. Like, what is that?
How old are you?
29.
There's your answer.
Yeah. Hey, Shaq, we can't get you on. Device is not connected. I like that. There's your answer. But listen, did you guys hear Donald Trump give his speech today about Charlie Kirk or no?
Yep.
Oh, you did? Did you want to hear it, Jesse, or no? No.
Yeah, I haven't heard it. No. Yeah, can we play it? You got it?
Let's listen to it.
Okay, play it. I'm gonna.
That way we can try to get Shaq on. He's trying to get on.
To my great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight, all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. Charlie was a patriot who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loved so much, the United States of America. He fought for liberty, democracy, justice, and the American people. He's a martyr for truth and freedom, and there's never been anyone who was so respected by youth. Charlie was also a man of deep, deep faith, and we take comfort in the knowledge that he is now at peace with God in heaven. Our prayers are with his wife, Erica, the two young, beloved children, and his entire family, who he loved more than anything in the world. We ask God to watch over them in this terrible hour of heartache and pain. This is a dark moment for America. Charlie Kirk traveled the nation, joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate. His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody ever, to share his love of country and to spread the simple words of common sense. On campuses nationwide, he championed his ideas with courage, logic, humor, and grace. It's a long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year, in the most hateful and despicable way possible. For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today, and it must stop right now. My administration will find each and every one of those who contributed to this atrocity and to other political violence, including the organizations that fund it and support it, as well as those who go after our judges, law enforcement officials, and everyone else who brings order to our country. From the attack on my life in Butler, Pennsylvania last year, which killed a husband and father, to the attacks on ICE agents, to the vicious murder of a healthcare executive in the streets of New York, to the shooting of House Majority Leader Steve Scalise and 3 others, radical left political violence has hurt too many innocent people and taken too many lives. Tonight, I ask all Americans to commit themselves to the American values for which Charlie Kirk lived and died, the values of free speech, citizenship, the rule of law, and the patriotic devotion and love of God. Charlie was the best of America, and the monster who attacked him was attacking our whole country. An assassin tried to silence him with a bullet, but he failed, because together we will ensure that his voice, his message, and his legacy will live on for countless generations to come. Today, because of this heinous act, Charlie's voice has become bigger and grander than ever before, and it's not even close. May God bless his memory. May God watch over his family, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
So I don't know if you guys caught this, but he describes the Jehovah's Witness in detail. Listen, just listen, follow me on this.
His ideas with courage, logic, humor, and grace. Long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year, in the most hateful and despicable way possible.
What have the Jehovah's Witnesses called the Catholics? What do they call the United Nations? Our
Satanic.
brother Joe
Satanic.
called you
Satanic.
son of Satan. Our brother-in-law, circuit overseer, Jehovah's Witness elder, Paul Deanda, called you son of Satan. This is what the Jehovah's Witnesses do. And then there was a comment on the chat section. She doesn't understand why we say the left, the right, or this. No, he's right. Because it is far radical religion, like the Jehovah's Witness with the New World Translation Bible, that spew this manure. And they spew this hate. And people die of suicides. People are murdered, separated from their families. Why? Because we calling it out. And if it was the right, it was the right. If it's the left, it's the left. But it just so happens that in 2025, there is a group of people that are spewing this hate. And if you disagree with them, you're a Nazi. And Charlie Kirk did not have any concentration camp. Charlie Kirk did not hold any political office, and he didn't have a police detail to enforce his edicts.
For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today.
And all of the problems that you see in the Jehovah's Witness religion or any other crazy religion like the Jehovah's Witnesses is because of that stupid rhetoric. And why? Because they silence free speech and the people who love free speech, like Charlie Kirk. It's all the same. The only thing difference is the names have changed. And King Solomon is right. And for people like Mike and Kim, like, you know, the Bible. No, the Bible's right on the money. King Solomon is right. There's nothing new under the sun. The only difference is the names have changed. And we are firsthand observers of exactly what Donald Trump is saying.
Hey, Gilbert, and I just want to add something to Ruby, what she said. I don't disagree. You know how me and her went off about freedom of speech and the sacrifice. Mm-hmm. But something that I think that I 100% agree is that the people, the FBI, the CIA, or the police department, when they find this guy, there has to be swift justice. Swift. This shit can't stand. And that's what's happened. It goes on, and people are allowed, like that girl that got killed on the train that Ruby and Jimmy were talking about yesterday on their show. There has to be quick justice because everybody in the land has to see that this will not be tolerated.
Mm-hmm. So Jesse, that's why I said what I said, because why would anybody looking at what we just saw, the lady on the train, Charlie, the left, the right, everybody, right? Who in their right mind would sign up to defend this nation, this country, where those kinds of deaths are happening? They're either being celebrated, and if they want him dead, they want us dead too, right? Like how we mentioned that before.
Yes.
Who would sign up to defend this country? Like before, I used to be like super, like I thought I was super patriotic. I was like supportive of the military and stuff like that. I was like, oh, I want my kids to do like the Young Marines or something like that. And now I'm like, oh hell no, because look at what's happening right now.
I'm like,
go ahead.
I'm like that old Jewish prophet named Jeremiah. Send me. Send me. Your question. Who will...
Okay, but why? So that the pink-haired liberal can celebrate when people like Charlie Kirk are shot and killed in broad daylight?
I'm an old man, but I'm not ready to quit yet on the American dream. I'm not ready to quit on Christ. I'm not ready until they bury me like Charlie Kirk. Like Elvis Presley said. Elvis Presley said, and while I can walk, while I can talk, here in my dream, why can't my dream come true right now?
Yeah.
So I'm not ready to quit on the American idea. I know we're going to get like that Bruce Springsteen song. I got a little lost along the way, but I'm not ready to quit. I'm not going to paint my hair blue. I'm still going to wear it black. I'm not going to be gay. I'm still going to be straight. I'm not ready to quit on the values of my father. And so my dad, when we would do something wrong, he would get me and Gilbert. And he goes, Jesse, Gilbert, did you guys steal that chocolate? And we go, Papi, yes, but everybody was stealing. And he goes, I don't care. bend over, grab the ankles, and my dad would whoop us. My dad says, I don't care if everybody's stealing. I don't care if every American spits on the flag. I'm not going to do it. I don't care if everybody paints their hair blue. I'm not. Let me die an American patriot. Let me die a Christian. Let me die like Charlie Kirk, but I will not bend a knee to Black Lives Matter. I will not bend a knee to Marxism.
Yeah,
I'm
me
going to
neither.
die. Yeah.
So Jesse, just real quick, this is why
From
Ecclesiastes.
my cold, dead hands.
This is why Ecclesiastes is the best book in the Bible.
Yes.
When Solomon says, when the sentence for a crime is not quickly carried out, people's hearts are filled with schemes to do wrong. Kind of like that guy who killed that Ukrainian girl, because his heart is filled with schemes to do wrong because there is no sentence for a crime. And that's what the American people are mad at right now. The American people right now are pissed off because there's crime and there is not a quick carrying out of justice. And that's from the Ecclesiastes. And the last thing I wanted to say, and it was just to answer Penny's question, like, I get what y'all saying, I just don't get the mix of religion and politics, because I'll say it one more time, King Solomon said it the best. There's nothing new under the sun. It's all related. What you saw today is what we saw as Jehovah's Witnesses growing up. It's all the same thing. It's just different names. That's all. There's nothing different. It's the same playbook over and over and over again.
Gilbert, look at that comment by Salvador Magaña on the comment section.
Is he from Yuma?
Yeah.
He is?
Look at, but read that.
Charlie was only trying to kickstart these college students with good debates. Yeah.
Isn't that true?
Yeah.
I mean, he was.
That's his crime. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, talk about innocence of the innocents. I mean, yeah, going to what Ruby was saying and everything. Yes, freedom of speech. That's all he was doing. He wasn't fighting nobody. He wasn't trying to kick nobody's butt. He wasn't trying to stab nobody. I mean, the most innocent of Americans.
But you know what? But Jesse, and this is why you have to think like an evil, Dr. Evil. Like, Gilbert, do you want to be a preacher? An evil preacher?
Yeah.
You see, Charlie Kirk was trying to take the chains off of those students in the spiritual realm, and the leaders of that university, the leaders of these universities, they're like,
they don't want the kids.
The kids belong to them. The kids are property of the state. The kids are property of the university.
Correct.
And Charlie Kirk is like, well, I got this key that unlocks all these doors, these balls and chains, and he's like, and that's a crime. What he said right there, this is in 2025 worthy of a death sentence from the New World Order. Kind of like Jehovah's Witnesses. Charlie Kirk was doing no different than Raymond France.
Yeah. Hey, Ruby, I agree with you 100%. And I have the greatest love and admiration for all your work. You know that I do. I would never argue again like that. But what we were talking about, the freedom of religion, I guess because I'm an old man, I just see things different. But it doesn't mean I see things different than you or nothing. I agree with you 100%. I'm not. But I'm just saying, as an old man, I was just throwing some ideas is what I'm doing. A perspective from an old man. And then I'm a Mexican American, so we're already retarded. We don't think. So, but I remember the words of Martin Luther King right before he died. He says, I would like to live a long life. Mm-hmm. And when I hear those words of Martin Luther King, it crushes my heart because I think of the grandbabies. I think of, hey, Grandpa, I love you. Mm-hmm. And who would take away, like Charlie Kirk, who would take him away from his babies? You have to be an evil, sick person. Right. So something so special happened in Charlie Kirk's life. He esteemed something greater. Remember when we were Jehovah's Witnesses, we always talked about the esteem. The martyrs of history always esteemed something greater. Let's say Abraham or Isaac or Jacob had a beautiful wife. They had beautiful grandchildren and beautiful animals, but yet they esteemed something greater. And that greater was Jesus Christ, we find out in our studies of the Bible. And it's hard to understand sometimes because we want to see our dollar, our property, our house, our children. But sometimes as we get older, our vision changes, and we esteem something of the spirit. That's all. It just comes with old age. It comes with old age. When I was young, I would fight like you, and maybe even harder. But I
Right.
would, yeah. But as an old man, I threw my ideas at you. That's all. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah. So Jesse, Penny, if we all demonstrate love for all humans, we could have and show Jesus we are willing to follow. But Penny, I'm not trying to be confrontational here. It's just there's no such thing as paradise earth. And what we saw today with Charlie Kirk is that it is battlefield earth. Earth is hell on earth. And we have to accept the fact that we're humans, and some of us have the seed of in Adam and Eve, right? In Adam, the seed. I shall put enmity between the seed of Jesus and the seed of Satan. There's two humans. We have the devil and the angel, and we're all walking, and we all think, Penny, all of us think that we're all nice people. He's a nice person. He's nice. No, there's some people that are evil sons of bitches, and
Right.
like,
Exactly.
yeah. And Jesus had one, and his name was Judas Iscariot. George Washington had one. His name was Benedict Arnold. And you have one too. They all pretend to be your friend, but as a human, you don't understand that you do not know how to think like a spirit, because a spirit person will be like, whoa, you're not human. You're not human. That's why we call them lizard people, right?
Reptilians.
Yeah, the reptilian. They live, and they just happen to live on 27th Avenue in Phoenix, Arizona.
In Phoenix.
From Van Buren all the way to Camelback is.
Hey,
really
now, Ruby, let me throw you my theory, and I have no evidence, because, like I said, I didn't go to college. I'm not that smart, but just from what my experience teaches me, that we live in decay. And I remember reading in the Bible that says Jesus' body, when it was in the cave, it saw no decay. So something happens when a man loses his life, we begin to decay. But it's worse. When a baby is born, he starts to die. He starts to decay. So everything outside of God is decay. We start to live when we return to our Father. And so I think we live in hell. We're not in heaven. Like, the earth is kind of like a hell, like a battlefield. It's the forces of evil are lined up against us. Hey, what is that?
I don't know. Someone's trying to
You
get
know what
on.
it is, Gilbert? It's the Your channel is
trolls have
decaying.
arrived.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, it's the Rick Fearon people.
Lizard people, hecklefish. I never heard of a hecklefish. Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's how I would answer, Penny, is because it's a spiritual war. It's not political, it's not mental, it's not emotional anymore. It's literal, it's demonic. It's a spiritual thing. And they want to ruin our spirit. They want to take that soul away from us. They want to take our humanity away from us. And that is so easy to do, because something like what happened today I could easily turn off my humanity and just lash out. But then I listen to Jesse, and Jesse reels me back in. And that's why I'm glad that you guys do this, because everybody's going to be listening to that. Everybody's going to be going through the same motions, and they get so desensitized when you start seeing all these shootings and stabbings and everything. You're like, so what are we here? Like, what are we doing here? If this is happening in America, then what's the point? Because that's not supposed to happen here. So, but it's happening here. That's the problem.
Now you understand. Now, one thing that really,
Penny is correct.
Yeah, but one thing has really hit me hard with this Charlie Kirk thing is you have. I'm not an angel, right? But I'm a human. So as a human, I kind of like what is bad. Like, say for example, you see, like, remember Jesus says, "Don't look at a woman with lust." But like, hey, what if I have like a 5-second or 3-second peak? Or you drink a little bit too much, whatever. We're human. We're of the flesh. And sometimes we are attracted through our imperfections to bad things, but we keep ourselves in check, but we know that we kind of like you're watching a rated R movie, right? And it's getting a little frisky. and you like, hey, you entertain it. Okay, but here's the point: you have to hate what is bad. You have to literally hate it. And as you get older, and you mentioned it, Ruby and Jesse talked about all the different things that we see. As we get older in life, some of us actually begin to hate it. When you're younger, you put up with bad. We put up with it, or it's not that bad. But that's one thing that with this Charlie Kirk thing is like, you're developing a real hate
Gilbert,
for what is
and
bad.
can I explain it to Penny? If she would listen to me for a second about the left and the right. Let me break it down. We can't be Jehovah's Witnesses. Like when I talk to Jehovah's Witnesses, we were politically neutral, and then they want to get involved in the political discussion. I go, hey, yeah, I know you're neutral. It shows. Shut your pie hole. Don't tell me you're neutral all your life, and then you come into a political discussion and give your opinion. No, you were neutered in the Jehovah's Witnesses.
You're neutral.
Why don't you learn a little?
This new world. Yeah.
Take a few classes. Okay, look, our political leftist brothers, our Marxist communist brothers, always call us Nazis. They go, and Donald Trump talked about, you called us Nazis for the last 40 years. Anybody who has any conservative leaning, I'm not saying Republican, I'm just saying any conservative leaning, you're called a Nazi. If I'm not gay, I'm a Nazi. The gays call me Nazi. If I don't paint my hair blue, I'm a Nazi. If I believe in I believe in spanking my kids, I'm a Nazi. Okay. And so the right wing has this Nazi element that you guys in the left so eloquently tell us all the time. What we're saying to you, Penny, is that some of your brothers in the left, some of your brothers and the sisters that have blue, purple hair have embraced communism, just like some in the right have embraced Nazism. It's real simple. The extreme fringe. Remember Al Gore called them the extreme chromosome, the extra chromosome right wing? Remember Al Gore called us the extra chromosome right wing? What we're saying is like Madani in New York. He's a communist. You guys in the left are embracing communism in New York, in Chicago, in LA, and it doesn't bode well for Western civilization. Every time you guys get a gun, you try to kill your brothers and sisters. That's what we're saying. We're not calling every Democrat a lefty because some of the greatest people on our side are Democrats, leftists. For example, Robert Kennedy, John F. Kennedy, Robert Kennedy Sr., Martin Luther King. Some of the greatest leaders on the conservative side have been Democrats. We love them, yeah. But what we're saying is that some people in the left have embraced communist Marxism. If you don't believe me, go to the U of A, go to Berkeley, go to any college and listen to the professors. Go to the college that shot Charlie Kirk today. You guys are playing with some wildfire. So check the guys on your side, just like we check the guys on our side.
Correct. And you know what, Jesse? It goes back to the dehumanization. When Al Gore accuses all of the Republicans, the right wingers, to have an extra chromosome, you're no longer a human being. Just like the Jehovah's Witnesses dehumanize you when they
just like Hitler dehumanized the Jews.
And that was the other point I was going to say. When Hitler compared the Jews to rats and other, dehumanized them, then it's okay to kill rats because you dehumanize them. And we've been dehumanized as Jehovah's Witnesses. It's all the same. It's just the name's changed.
Yeah. So we got to do that. And so what there's voices out there saying, hey, we got the extreme elements on all sides. And Charlie Kirk was not part of that. Here's a man who wanted to have open dialogue, open debate. In extreme dialogue, like in extreme religion, the Jehovah's Witnesses, there is no debate. You can't have debate. If you want to debate about Jesus Christ dying on a cross, you will get kicked out of the Jehovah's Witnesses. And all religions do that because they're extremists. They're not open to debate.
Mm-hmm. Now, Aaron Hubbard thinks that the whole world revolves around money. I'm not on either side. Politics is a big distraction away from failing monetary and economic system, and that is true because we can also see this, and Leslie Nielsen and others eloquently put this in film, where you have a burning building on one side, and there's looting the bank on the other. So we can actually see a day where there's real looting of our money, our hard work, while we're over here killing innocent people and creating political conflict. So Aaron is right on that one. Now, the whole world doesn't revolve around money, but he brings out a very good point that we can expect a lot more of the Charlie Kirk type assassinations or world shattering.
You know what? And here's the thing: I love Aaron, but he's wrong.
I know,
And
but
he goes, and you get all these weak-kneed people all the time. I'm not saying Aaron is weak-kneed or Penny's weak-kneed, but listen, the argument is weak-kneed, and it's in the Bible. Jesus says, "I'll puke you because you're neither hot nor cold. You're lukewarm." There's these people that say, "You know what? I'm for the war. I'm for the war, and I'm gonna. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna sacrifice my brother and my brother-in-law already get so that they can go fight." No. That's not the question. You take a stance. And so a lot of people think that politics is right or left, and it's not. It's just you have to pick a side on an argument. And
You're right.
it's easy. It's easy for people to just say, "Oh, you know, I'm better than you are because I'm in the middle. I'm benevolent. I'm going to go to heaven with Jesus because I'm in the middle." No.
who does that? Watchtower is masterful at that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jesse, I hope you enjoyed fighting the audience. And
Sorry.
yeah,
No, he didn't fight nobody. He's right, because you know what? We don't have the luxury anymore to be neutral.
No, we
Okay, so
don't.
even if you wanted to be, in my opinion, you can't. It just doesn't exist. Because if
Yeah.
you say nothing and do nothing, you're gonna be the next one who gets shot. Because Charlie was there doing something and saying something, and he got shot. So imagine everybody else who's moderate or in the middle or neutral doing nothing and saying nothing.
Yeah. But in defense of Aaron,
That's saying something.
that's saying something. And in defense of Aaron, I definitely could see evil bankers, doing this and more as a distraction. But I don't think Charlie Kirk's death was a distraction. I think it was a warning shot, like when they killed Jesus Christ. Like, hey, if you're a troublemaker, this is what we're going to do to you. And they would hang people in crosses, so that way it would put the word out. Like, Jesse, remember you always say
What the Romans would do in the time of Rome, they would go into a village that's giving them problems, and they would get the five most prominent, the mayor, the five most prominent families, leaders, and they would crucify them outside the city gates. Put everybody on notice. That's what they would do, and that's how they would stifle any kind of revolt.
And that is what I believe is what they did with Charlie Kirk. They sent a message, and in prime time, somebody who's well versed in the business, Greg Gutfeld, knew you never use the F word in prime time because you don't want to get fined, right?
Right.
And he basically told the New World Order, "F you," and everybody was like, but he was like, "I don't care about the rules," and because he knew that the death of Charlie Kirk, in my opinion, was like what Jesse said about the Romans. It was the leaders telling you, "No, we're in charge. Not Donald Trump, not your elected officials. We are in charge. We are the sheriff."
In the annals of history, and then the timeline of man and events, the man who shot him is a coward, and all of life, he will be shown as a coward. And history will show, Charlie Kirk will now be mentioned with all of our fathers that came before us, with Benjamin Franklin, with Thomas Jefferson. His name will be synonymous to the great American lineage.
Yeah.
And if there is a wing in heaven on the American side, he's over there talking to our fathers right now.
He's already there.
So blessed is Charlie Kirk.
He's drinking
among men.
wine. Yeah, he's drinking wine with Jesus. Yeah. So, yeah.
So thank you guys.
Yeah.
Last word, last idea. I think that this was a setup. It was targeted. It was professional. It was in broad daylight for all of us to see, and I think that this is an awakening. People are gonna wake up. The normies are gonna watch this on TV, and they're gonna investigate. And if you didn't know him before, now you know him now. And I'm sad. Because if that could happen to him, a normal guy like Charlie, it could happen to any one of us. And that warning is because they don't want us talking anymore. It's like a desperation that we are rising up too much. With the information war, with speaking up, the internet. etc. So I think that Charlie took the fall. Like, he got it. He got it. Unfortunately, he was the one who had to be the one in public to get it the way he did. Like, they tried to do it with Trump, but they missed. And I believe that they have a hit list, and they're gonna continue going down that list. And I don't know where the red line is gonna start or end, but I think it's beginning. I think it's beginning, and it's boiling, and it's gonna get hotter and hotter. But hopefully it doesn't. But that's just my prediction.
Oh no, yeah, the New World Order is definitely gonna regret this, because, like I showed you in the Bible, 2 Kings, Elijah, there are more that are with us than are with them. They know it. They opened up a can of worms that
When I
today,
was
the 10th of September. Wow, it happened on the 10th of September, not on the 11th.
Yeah, I was thinking that I was thinking younger when I was younger that I loved Rush Limbaugh. When I was a Jehovah's Witness, I would listen to him, and before him, Paul Harvey, and I love radio and great voices of American radio. And in my lifetime, and I always thought that Rush Limbaugh was the voice of Enoch, like our modern day Enoch, and I felt that God, or maybe something of the Spirit, took him from us, because I didn't believe he died of cancer. And in my brain, in my conspiracy theory, I thought maybe they put cancer in him to shut him up. But what I know I'm wrong, but in my head, because he said, I will not die until every American agrees with me. And I told Gilbert the other day, Gilbert, maybe every American person who loves America, maybe we reached a point, because there's so many people that hate America. You see it everywhere. Get on the bus, they hate America. They don't even want to speak English. So many people. So we probably reached a tipping point. But with Charlie Kirk, it's different. Charlie Kirk is different. This is like Ruby said. This is blatant and broad daylight. It was different than anything we've ever seen. The cameras were rolling. The children were watching. The kids were watching. Telephones were going off. The actual shot was shown. It's like when you see the assassination of Robert Kennedy. We don't really see it. We see the behind and we see the commotion. John F. Kennedy, the Zapruder film. We don't see it. Martin Luther King, we don't see it. But this one, it was visible to every human eye. It was blatant.
And you know what also, and Ruby, you're going to like this one, because it happened when Trump got shot. Although there were people that started moving, but I would say about more than 50% of the people, they knew shots had been fired. But they instinctively knew that the cowards ran away. And what did the people do? Did they run? Did they get down, hunker down, and hide? No. And more and more, you're going to start seeing that you'll have a shooter, but the shooter's a coward, and he's going to run away. He's going to do one shot, two shots, and then he's going to run. But the people, they're not going to run. The people, we have nothing to be afraid of, And if you go back and you look at that tape, everyone is watching, everyone is observing. Yeah, there was shots fired, but ain't nobody running. Well, a few, but in the Trump one, that was very telling. And
no, you're right. We were literally just talking about that. We were like, when that happened, almost nobody even flinched. They were looking, their heads were on a swivel, but nobody ran away. Nobody really. There was no stampede, like no major injury aside from the actual people that died. And then this one, everybody, it was wild. And there are videos coming out of people in the crowd that were suspicious. So yes. I think this was a real setup. Like they really cased this. It was targeted. It was professional. It only took one clean shot. And I also saw another video on X that was talking about the question that was asked to Charlie before the shot, and it was a question about transgender shooters. So that was like flag number one. And then he said that there was like only 5 other shooters that were actually trans. And then that's when Charlie says if it was gang related or not, and then that was it. But right after the shot fires, the person there says, "Great." So that was flag number 2. Like, why would he say that? Like, there's already a bunch of stuff going on, and you already know me. I'm looking at everything, so I don't know what's going on. It's already fishy. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
His family was there, his wife, the kids, like you said. it is scary. That's what I'm telling you. It's scary what happened today.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Hey, this just came out.
How do you want to be remembered? If I die, I just go through. How would you, if you could be associated with one thing, how would you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered for courage for my faith. That would be the most important thing. The most important thing is my faith in my life.
How do you want to be remembered?
Wow.
Dallas.
Well, hi there, y'all.
Hey, yeah. Hey, Dallas, we start charging after 2 minutes. No, go ahead. Just kidding. You like that, huh? That was funny.
Dallas, what do you think about what Ruby said? The difference between assassinations and this one with Charlie Kirk.
And I can agree that they didn't like what he had to say, and the ones who did this and the ones that hate the USA, they Marxists, they're traitors.
Yeah.
Wow.
But even though they're traitors, Charlie Kirk was out there debating them. He was out there not fighting them. He was out there talking to people.
Well, that's a good thing. He was doing his best and trying to be peaceful, compassionate.
Yeah. Now, did you notice that? What do you think? Are you a believer, Dallas? I never got into. Are you you consider yourself a follower of Christ?
I do believe that he's our savior. And
what do you think about what he said, that he liked to be remembered for his faith in God?
I think that was awesome, right there.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Mm-hmm. And I will tell you this. Aaron says, John Marciano, does it really matter? Do you really think the right left will solve this country's major issues? Yes, I think Americans will solve the problems, but it's kind of like a forest fire. You're not going to have new growth until there's a forest fire. Things got to burn, man. And then when they burn, new growth always emerges. So I do listen. And to quote Patrick Bet-David, who's doing a great job with his slogan, "The future looks bright." And you know what? Just with those words, I believe in those words. The future does look bright.
We don't want to be Jehovah's Witnesses no more. They always say, "Oh, Jesus, God is going to fix it." No, come on, guys. Jesus says, "Pick up your cross and follow me." He said that the one with the one talent, he was cursed amongst men. Use your talents and build it up. And this is the thing about the left and right. What if Abraham Lincoln thought like these people? Oh, it's going to get fixed. No, he took a side, he took an opinion, and he took it. He was the rail splitter. How many great moderates how many great neutrals do you see in history? Was Joan of Arc a neutral? Was Benjamin Franklin neutral? Was name me a great look, one of the great moderates of our time was John McCain. What the hell did he ever accomplish?
Nothing. And also Charlie Kirk is going to go down in history, Jesse, in modern history, 2025, 2026. They're going to be talking more about Charlie Kirk in every university. His name is going to be in every university, whether they put it in granite or they put it in paper or by word of mouth. But the hearts of the kids going into college now will always be talking about Charlie Kirk. And so when Jesus talked about the coins, servant, imagine, Jesse, all of the children, 18, 19, 20-year-old, and what are they going to be looking at in Twitter? What are they going to be looking at in YouTube? They're going to be researching Charlie Kirk. Wow.
You know what? Aaron is right. No argument there. Says the thousands of years humans have here only confirmed one thing: greed and suffering will always be here as long as humans are in charge. Well, okay, but what does that solve? How does that move anything? I agree with him. I agree with that sentiment. But it's no reason to quit. You know, when we were little kids, we were taught to play baseball. You play all 9 innings. We saw the great basketball players who played. You say, hey, play all 48 minutes. They win on the last shot. And that's the neat thing about Americans. We don't quit. It's not over till the fat lady sings.
Well, listen, Jesse. No, let me help you. Because maybe God taught us this in creation. Like, look, you guys that are watching most of you don't understand what I'm going to say. Don't live in Yuma, Arizona, or Phoenix. So God gave us what? Winter, summer, spring, and autumn, right?
Winter, summer, spring, summer, and fall.
Yeah, fall, all that stuff. So everything is a cycle. Well, yeah, there's going to be good times and bad times. You have the great reign of King Solomon, and then it turned to shit when his sons took over. The point being this: right now, Jesse, you're thinking the exact same thing I'm thinking. It's almost over, man. It's almost over. And then we have 8-9 months of glorious weather in Arizona. But we have 3-4 months of hell. And that's always been the story. There's no more beautiful weather than Arizona in the basin, the valley, in those 8 months, 8-9 months. But we got 3 months
of pure
hell that even Satan, the devil, leaves Arizona. He leaves us alone for 3 months.
He goes north.
Even say so. Of course, Aaron's right, but everything in life is a cycle. We're going to have our good days and we're going to have our bad days.
Hey, Gilbert, when Ruby was here and she brought up the point that I understand her, because a lot of people are saying we have the freedom of speech, and this is such a beautiful argument. We have freedom of speech, but nothing is free. I don't think they teach that to kids anymore. Like when we would get on the bus, remember they said, hey, getting on the bus is not a right, it's a privilege. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing that is different with, I think the younger generation doesn't understand that in the long history of man, people have been raping everybody and killing and pillaging. And we're a news story. It's called the United States of America, the experiment in self-government. We're a relatively young experiment. Normally, we were bopping people over the head and raping their mothers.
Mm-hmm. And if you're Black, you ought to be grateful that you're in America, because you would have been a slave in another country. And if you're Protestant or Catholic and you're Irish, you're a white person, you should be thankful that you're here.
And here's the thing.
You would be killing each other in Ireland. So what I'm saying is that, but guess what? That train of injustice on all of the nations and all of the immigrants that came, all of those injustices, that train was coming to a dead halt in the United States of America. Now, does it rear its ugly head every once in a while here and there? Yeah. But at least in America, that train, Jesse, when we compare the speed of the train of injustice, we don't put people in stakes anymore.
And you know what? In every country, like people always like to shit on American dollar. Yeah. And they tell us how bad the dollar is and the dollar hegemony and everything that they say. But let's line up every currency on the planet. Would you rather have a ruble or a dollar?
Actually, right now, Jesse, the ruble looks pretty good. But yeah, go ahead. I still rather have the dollar.
Okay, that's the thing. Even in our worst day, we're better off than other countries. Mm-hmm. And Charlie Kirk believed that. Robert Kennedy believed that. John F. Kennedy, but Martin Luther King, Abraham Lincoln. There's something worth fighting for.
Yes.
Now, here's the thing. This is the irony. Is that this is the thing. There is no social security for the martyr. The patriot receives no reward. The patriot receives 6 feet of dirt. This is what people don't understand. They think you're going to win the Constitution. They think you're going to win freedom of speech. No, just when you win, they take it away. That's life. Mm-hmm. But people think that there's going to be heaven on earth, and it's not. Jesus says, pick up your cross and follow me. Now, that doesn't mean you don't stop and fight for freedom of speech, and you fight for the person who's being persecuted. You fight for the minority, yes. Mm-hmm. But the second you think that you are free, somebody's going to drop COVID-19 on your ass, and you're going to die. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's just the way life is. Some
Mhm.
people think that there's going to be nirvana or paradise earth, and there's
That's the
no
thing.
paradise earth.
Yeah. If there's one thing we learned as Jehovah's Witnesses is that there's no paradise earth.
Mhm.
So hey, we covered a lot of ground today, Jesse.
Yeah.
Good. It was good. And maybe I was wrong in my rant on religion, but I mean,
Hey, Gilbert, you did real good. Just you had to bring Dallas in, and he had to explain everything to you.
yeah, I know. JP wanted to get on, but his phone wouldn't let him because he probably has a Walmart phone.
Yeah. Hey, I thought Ruby was gonna kick my butt for a while there.
Oh,
She was letting me have it, huh? She.
Yeah.
She.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Aaron will probably come on next time. And has anybody heard of Ricky Bobby who do an SOS? Where's he at? Hope he's still alive.
And what happened to Son of Thunder?
I don't know.
You know what? That I don't believe.
He's Eastern time. He's Eastern, and he wakes up
No,
early.
no. I don't believe none of that shit. That was no Son of Thunder. That was like a pipsqueak.
I know, but
He came in, gave a comment.
He'll text me every once in a while, but it's like 5:00 in the morning his time, like 2 in the morning my time.
Yeah, but a Thunder, he's got to change the name to maybe Chihuahua Power because I mean he's Son of Thunder.
Yeah,
Think about it. Come on,
I know. He should have come on.
Dallas. Isn't that true?
Mhm.
I think so too, and I know I'm Eastern time, and y'all's Mountain time, aren't you? Y'all Mountain time,
Yes.
Yeah.
Eastern time.
Oh, my condolences. You're on the East Coast.
Hey, Dallas, are you in the Eastern time?
I am.
We'll speak slower.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's only 2 hours difference.
Hey, are you voting for Madami, the mayor of New York?
No, I wouldn't. I think he's a traitor to the city and to the United States.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
Rudy
same
Giuliani.
as that cult. They're a traitor to the U.S. and to the American way.
Yeah.
Hey, so I got to wake up early tomorrow. So,
Okay.
Dallas, thanks for coming on. Jesse, I hope you liked the show.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
I hope we didn't bore anybody. And
I'm gonna bail out, Gilbert.
yeah, me too.
Dallas, good night,
I'm
sir.
going to, and y'all take care now. Y'all.
Okay, and guys, remember, I've given many prayers to God, our Father, or Charlie Kirk, and I know one thing: God is loyal to His loyal ones, and so I have no doubt in my mind. I have no doubt that He is among all of the great men and women of the past. And also, if there's one thing that you guys can get out of this video, is Obadiah is just one page in the Bible. It's just one page. Read it and learn one thing. Don't ever rejoice when other people suffer. Bow your head, look the other way. But don't ever rejoice. If you want your father to be mad at you and you don't, oh my God, don't ever rejoice over your brother's suffering. So that's all I have, guys.
That's a great point you got there. Don't rejoice, and instead, it's best to grieve over that and mourn.
And more. Yeah, and hope our brothers repent for that. You know, it's
And pray that they repent, and we remember how Trump, he was shot at. Even if they didn't agree, that's still unacceptable. You know who that also happened to similarly?
Who's that?
George Wallace as well.
Yeah, that's right.
You know where I know the place it happened.
Wow.
It was in Maryland.
Oh, Maryland.
Laurel, Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the town because my aunt and uncle were long-time uncles or residents there, and my aunt, she still lives there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But thank God he survived, and he did that. he repented.
That's good. Yeah. So if that's one
That's the
thing,
way I see it.
yeah. So that's just one thing I can get across. It's just one page. It's not going to kill you to open up your Bible and just read one page called Obadiah, and trust me, it'll change your life. You'll never ever rejoice when other people suffer. All right, guys, and we'll see you on the next video. And hopefully it'll be good news. Good news. All right.
Hopefully so.
All
Take
right.
care now.
All right. Thanks, Dallas. See you guys later. Good night.
You too, Gilbert.